Hi TD, this is Nathan. You were asking about doing relays on the CNC machine. I figured it's going to be easier to do a quick video, and I like doing the videos anyway. So I'm going to start at the end result on the actual machine itself and show you where we're going to go. And the basic simple way to get things wired, whether it's correct or not, I don't know. It still works pretty good for me. I've done a lot of wiring in my life, and this seems to just keep on working. So this is going to be the interface that we see that runs through the jackpot. So you see we got some buttons here. So we got spindle, flood, and mist. Every one of these is going to be a different pin actually on the jackpot board itself. So I run all of mine off of mist. So you're going to kick on and kick off. So everything on the router is actually controlled by that right there. There's a G-code command that I put into all my files. So if I pulled up any of my G-code and actually looked at it, you would see an M5, which activates this pin, which then turns everything on, and then at the end an M9, which shuts everything down. So you can do it manually if you want to do your own cutting, if you want to turn things on and off. If it's not built into the G-code, you just hit that button, things fire up. When you're done, hit it again, it turns off. I like to just hit play over here, and it will turn itself on, do all the cut, and when it's done, turn itself off, put it back to home, and everything's good. So that's the end result of what we're after. All a relay is a switch. So we're got multiple switches set up on this entire machine. So we've got the one on the router itself. So you see this runs along here, runs along here. It's my jackpot board there. I got the cover off so I can show you what we're doing. But that runs through here and plugs into this box. So I've got my router, I've got my dust control, and then this is for my camera, so when I'm cutting I can keep an eye on things. So not a lot of amps are coming out of this. So all we got to think of a relay is as a switch. So if I have a manual switch wired up to this, I can flip it on and off, turn this on and off, and that will power on the entire circuit. We're going to be using a relay instead. So from there, you see this is an old repurposed extension cord. Plenty for the purpose because we're not pulling that many amps through it. So we're going to come down here, and then my relay is right there. So I've got it mounted underneath so it's out of the way. Comes with a heat sink right there. If you look at this, the way that it's wired, we have two low voltage inputs. This is DC, and all this does is when the pin activates, it fires through here and it closes a switch in here. When it's powered down, the switch is open, no electricity can flow. But as soon as it fires up, the switch connects, and electricity can then flow from this pin to this pin. This becomes a solid connection. You see my extension cord going back that way, running in through here. The neutral, the ground, stays untouched. We split the hot. So the hot goes to one pin. It doesn't matter, it really does not matter which side it goes to, but one side's coming from the feed, from the actual electricity, the circuit itself. The other one goes out to the switch. And again, right now everything's deactivated. There's no power here whatsoever. Everything is dead except this wire here. So I can touch these two pins. It will never shock me because we're dead here. Live, dead, dead, everything's good. So that's going to go back. Ignore the mess because I never get time to clean up. All the way back to here. And this is where I pull all my power from. So this actually goes to the power supply for the jackpot. This plugs into the wall itself, and this is the other side of that extension cord. So I can pull this and we will be completely dead. No matter what I do, I will never get power to the router. Or just leaving it plugged in, I have power all the way through there. So the 24 volt, because I run a 24 volt power supply, feeds in through here, and then these are the MOSFETs. So we've actually got a couple different options here. Again, this side here, the left two, that's just the pin that's controlled by the mist command on there. If I go to the flood, it's going to come off of one of the other ones. It really doesn't matter. That's just the one that I chose and I went into. If you're uncomfortable with that, actually ignore that, this is the 12 volt. Over here is where I'm actually running from. In the pictures we had it upside down. I'm flipped upside down for my mount. So over here we got our ground, and then this is the left side pin. That is for the mist. I'm gonna get focus there. And then we've got the other ones for the other stuff out there. So as soon as I connect that, give the command, this pin activates, it charges, goes down to my relay, closes that, and then power can flow back to the outlet. Power then activates all the way through to the router, and then everything turns on, turns off. Got my dust collection, everything built into that one circuit. So when it closes, everything turns on. When it opens, everything turns off. Life is good. You did ask if we can control, I just saw as I was pulling up to see who I was talking to, the router speed. You can't. Not on these, because if we're using a trim router, your speed control is actually manual here. So whatever I set this to is how this is either on or it's off, and it's going to be speed based on that. If you're using a spindle, you do not want to use these pins to get it done. You want to use a spindle control, because that will actually put out a voltage. I'm not sure which pin it is, but it will actually vary the signal coming out of it so that you can control the speed of your spindle through the software. Through your G code, you can ramp it up, you can ramp it down, you can do whatever you want there. But for basic wiring, to run a relay, and you don't have to run a relay, but to run a relay, quick and simple way to get it done is this. You can leave it completely manual. You can just plug this into an outlet. When you go to cut, turn the switch on. When you're done with the cut, turn the switch off. You could wire it to something like that and go to a manual switch. Like I have all my safety cutouts are manual switches, and these are just light switches. They do the same thing. Right now I've got a closed circuit, and I've got another one that matches over there, and they both have to be closed to power on my router. I can hit either one of these and everything dies, because it interrupts the entire circuit. Kills the relay because it's being powered by the board, kills the board, so everything dies at the moment I hit that button. That's the quick and simple of it. So whether or not you agree with the wiring, it sure does work well. I know some people don't like to repurpose extension cords. All an extension cord is a set of wiring with an orange cover on it. So wiring is wiring as far as I'm concerned. Definitely rated for the amount of current I'm pulling through it. So we're good there as far as I'm concerned. Everything else tucks in fairly nice and neat and clean. So hopefully this helps. So relays, until you use them a lot, I know when I first started, I had to think about them. Now relays I've been using them for years and years. They're just very, very simple machines. It's just, again, throwing a switch. It's a magnetic switch activated by electricity. Life is good. So hope this helps.